Hello again, everyone. This is Frank DiMora at the End Times Research Ministry. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the conditions that I told you to look for based on Bible prophecy. And if you just came to my YouTube channel and you don't know anything about me, what I'll do is I'll first give you the scriptures, what the Lord told us about the last days, and then I'll give you the documentation to show you that what is written in the Bible is actually taking place. Now, I just want to say this. I can't give you all of the prophecies all of the time in one single showing here on my YouTube video. And this is the reason why I wrote The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, the documentary on Bible prophecy and current events. The entire picture of the last days is contained in that book, and you can download it today for free at my website, www.endtimesresearchministry.com. So let me go right into the Revelation, because this is what the Lord showed us how it's going to be. And keep in mind, we're not in the tribulation period yet, but we're very, very close to the beginning of it. But we do know that we're in the birth pangs that Jesus talked about in Mark 13:8. And as we get closer and closer to the second coming of the Lord Jesus Christ, all these events are going to speed up exponentially. Now in Revelation chapter 7 verse 16, this is what the Lord said about the heat and about the lack of water. Listen to what he says. Never again will they hunger, never again will they thirst. The sun will not beat upon them, nor any scorching heat. So right there you know that people are going to be hungry, people are going to be thirsty, and the sun is going to scorch this earth. Now in Revelation chapter 16, further down into the book of Revelation, in verse 8, it says, the fourth angel poured out his bowl on the sun, and the sun was given power to scorch people with fire. So not only is the planet going to be scorched with this fire, the people on the planet are also going to be scorched with fire. And we do know, what is this going to cause? Well, it's going to cause droughts, which we're already seeing, lack of water, which we're already seeing, and of course all these things that the Lord showed us here in both Revelation 7 and 16 point that crops are going to wither and dry up as well as the water, drinking water, starts to evaporate. Now, I'm not sure if you saw this, but if you live in California, you should take a really close look at this. This article came out on the 12th of March 2015. It says California has about 1 year of water left. Will you ration now? And here's a picture of what this situation looks like in Orville Lake. And this is in California. And you can see how far the water has receded. And let me assure you, this isn't the end of it, because we're in the heart of a drought and the snowfall is at a low as well. It says, given the historic low temperatures and snowfalls that plummeted the eastern U.S. this winter, it might be easy to overlook how devastating California's winter was as well. As our wet season draws to a close, it is clear that the poultry rain and snowfall that have done almost nothing to alleviate epic drought conditions. January was the driest in California since record keeping began in 1895. Groundwater and snowpack levels are at all-time lows. We're not just up a creek without a paddle in California, we're losing the creek too. The data from NASA satellites show that the total amount of water stored in the Sacramento and San Juan Valley basins, that is, all the snow, the river, and the reservoir water, water in the soils, and the groundwater combined, was 34 million acre-feet below the normal in 2014. That loss is nearly 1.5 times the capacity of Lake Mead, America's largest reservoir. Now, statewide, we've been dropping more than 12 million acre-feet of total water nearly since 2011. Roughly two-thirds of these losses are attributed to groundwater pumping for agricultural irrigation in the Central Valley. Now, farmers have little choice but to pump more groundwater during the droughts, especially when their surface water allocations have been slashed 80 to 100%. But these pumping rates are excessive and unsustainable. Wells are drying up. In some areas of the Central Valley, the land is sinking by 1 foot or more per year. As difficult as it may be to face, the simple fact is that California is running out of water, and the problem started before a current drought. NASA data revealed that the total water storage in California has been in a steady decline since at least 2002. When satellite-based monitoring began, although groundwater depletion has been going on since the early 20th century. Right now, the state only has about 1 year of water supply left in its reservoirs, and our strategic backup supply groundwater is rapidly disappearing. California has no contingency plan for a persistent drought like this one, let alone a 20-plus year mega drought, except apparently staying in emergency mode and praying for rain. In short, we have no paddle to navigate this crisis. Now, this is what the Lord said it was going to be like, and this is the birth pangs of those words. And so you have a choice. You could believe what the Lord said and embrace it and embrace the Lord as the true Messiah, or you can reject what his warnings are, and then eventually what you're going to end up doing is seeing that he was right all along and you should have been following him way before the period of time that you may have wanted to follow him. So now there's a lot of people who think that because we've had snow in the mountains that it should be all right. The condition will get better because the melting snow is going to come down and help fill up these reservoirs. That's not the case. I'm going to play this video that came along with this LA Times article, and it'll show you about the snowfall. It is, again, at low records.
And in the Sierra, this is a picture taken from March 9th, and you can take a look at the snow across the Sierra right there. It's a beautiful image from the spacecraft, but there's not much snow on the Sierra. In fact, if we take a look, for this time of the year, we're actually running across this entire range of the Sierra here in California, only about 18%, less than 1/5 the snowfall that you would expect at this time, or the snowpack at this time of the year in the Sierra. And this is rough with drought conditions across that region. Much of that snowpack provides the irrigation for the Central Valley of California, and that is going to be something that we really have to hope that we can get some more rain in there in a period or a time of the year when conditions are now becoming dry, guys.
Now, when you look at what's happening as far as the rain and the lack of water, just think what it's going to do to the food, the crops. It's going to cause a skyrocketing effect for the price of food. I've been warning you about this every single year, and every single year that passes by, we see that the prices are going up and up. Now watch what's going to happen this summer, because you're going to see that the prices of meats again, the prices of food will start to climb again, especially in California. And if California has a reduction of food, it's going to be affecting a lot of the pocketbooks around the United States, not just in California, because these things spread out. Now, just as a reminder, Revelation chapter 6, verse 6, this is where Jesus shows us that people are going to have to work all day long for one small meal. You'll see it when you read it. He talks about the wheat and the barley. And of course, if you read the New Testament, where Jesus is talking about the people going into the field and working for labor all day long to get a denarius, we know that in the last days, people are going to have to work all day long for one small meal. And I've been warning you that the food prices are going to go up. So, look at this, January 5th of 2015. Food's expected to rise in price in 2015. And every year, I'm right because the Lord is right. And I know as long as I follow his words, I'm never going to be wrong. When it comes down to the specifics, what he tells us to look for, you'll know that you can prophesy the same thing that Jesus did because you're saying the same thing Jesus said, and it has to come true because, not Frank DiMora said it, but because Jesus Christ prophesied it. And all I'm doing is repeating over and over again what our Lord stated in his word. Now this article also comes with a video. I'm going to play that for you.
The next time you go to the grocery store, you may see the cost of some of your favorite foods go up. Be prepared for this.
You can blame this on the drought as well as some laws that are taking effect. Dina Kupfer joins us now. And the laws, that will explain eggs. The drought, the other stuff?
Yeah, well, okay. The drought's the other things, but we're also seeing, you know, with these laws, some other items like eggs, as you guys had mentioned, but the butter going up, the peanut butter, the chocolate, lots of different things happening, guys. But you will probably be getting an unwelcome surprise during your next trip to the grocery store as prices of many of California's most popular foods are expected to rise in this coming year. Among those items that'll probably give you sort of a trigger shock there, avocados. This is one of my favorite foods. That's right, your guacamole might cost you a little bit more for the Super Bowl ahead. The green superfood is growing in popularity and demand. Pair that with the California drought and farmers' warning of an upcoming shortage. Growing a pound of avocados requires more than 70 gallons of water. That's only for 1 pound, and 95% of the avocados grown right here in the United States are from California farms. So something to keep in mind. If you can start stocking up on the avocados now, you might need to do so. Also, a new law going into effect may just really impact how much we pay for our omelets coming up. The new law is going to be changing the way farmers have to keep their chickens. So the animals will now have to be kept in cases with enough space to move around. It's estimated that altering the cages will cost millions of dollars, and that cost will likely be passed on to us, the consumers. Farmers in other states are going to have to follow the same requirements if they want to sell their eggs here in California. So it looks like the price is probably going to go up nationwide, not just here in the Golden State. And if you missed it last half hour, the price of olive oil could also be going on the rise pretty quickly, and that's due to drought conditions, not here, but over in Europe. And so we're just trying to give you a forewarning now. Be prepared to spend a little bit more the next time you go to the grocery store. It's an unfortunate truth that we deal with. I know, Kiva, you said when you went to get eggs, they were already up at least $1 or so. I know I've experienced that too, so just keep that in mind.
I kept looking, thinking, well, maybe I'm looking at the wrong...
All right, so I'm going to stop it right there. But the bottom line is this. The food prices are going up. Not just 1 year, not just 2 years, but every single year the prices are going up. And just like I said in 2014, the prices are beginning to climb again in 2015. Now there's something else I want to bring to your attention because again, this is what the prophets told us about the last days. What we do know that is Israel is going to be alone. They're going to be facing the world. And we know this from Zechariah chapter 12, where the Lord tells us all the nations will be coming against Israel. And in the last 3 or 4 years, we have seen a huge surge in anti-Semitism and a lot of attacks on the Jewish people. And as of late, we've been seeing a lot of the Jews in Europe starting to migrate back into Israel because of the persecution that's starting up against the Jews, and almost a carbon copy of what we saw just before the Second World War when Hitler was starting to go against the Jews. And what we do know is there's going to be another Holocaust. And that Holocaust will be brought out at the latter part of the tribulation, or exactly 3.5 years into the tribulation, where his colors change. He's going to make a covenant with many people, as we read in Daniel chapter 9. And he's going to make this with Israel and many people. And then in the middle of this covenant that he's going to confirm, which will be a covenant for a period of 7 years, he's going to stop the covenant and he's going to attack the Jews. and he's going to attack everybody else who doesn't fall down and worship him as God. But what we do know is he's going to try to wipe out the Jews, because thinking that if he wipes out the Jews that he could stop prophecy from being completed. And obviously that's not going to happen, because the Lord, when he sets something out, it is always fulfilled. So let me just give you another one of the examples how the Jews are being targeted. You see the news that just came out on the 12th here. Muslim man threatens Jews with beheadings outside synagogue. And of course we're seeing the Muslims in the Middle East going after anyone, not just the Jews, but anyone who does not follow the ways of what they call Sharia law. So I'm just going to play this news clip for you, and just keep in the back of your mind, this is only one of many, many articles that are coming out showing that the Jews are being targeted.
Now at 11, disturbing threats outside a South Florida synagogue. Terrible. Now a congregation concerned and warned to stay alert. And tonight, a man is out of jail after police say he approached members of the Autheor Shalom synagogue on Saturday, screaming he would cut their heads off.
Now there is stepped-up security and awareness after the frightening incident.
CBS 4's Lauren Pastrana is live on Miami Beach with more. Lauren.
Yeah, Rick and Erica, more security here, but the rabbi here won't exactly say what they are doing, but we do know praying is definitely on that list.
Behold, you will neither sleep nor slumber of the Garden of Israel.
Rabbi Phineas Weberman relies on scripture to guide his congregation through a frightening ordeal. According to a police report, 2 members of the Autheor Shalom congregation were standing outside the Miami Beach synagogue on Saturday night when a man walked by. The report says that man shouted, "Allah Akbar, we will cut your heads off."
That's called assault, threatening to kill.
The men say they feared for their safety and immediately called 911. Cops were able to track down Diego Char a few blocks away. The report says, quote, the subject denied having said anything to the victim. Char was arrested and is facing charges of assault and stalking. He's out of jail on bond.
His attitude was, this is his religious responsibility, his holy work of carrying out, killing the infidels.
They're terrible.
Joe McCormack isn't Jewish, but he's a longtime friend of the rabbi, and he's upset over what allegedly happened here.
How would you feel if I said, I'll cut your head off, you Jew? Huh? It shouldn't be, but it shouldn't be allowed.
Rabbi Weberman has a message for Char.
I would tell him, change your religion to one of life rather than one of death.
Now, we did try to get in contact with the suspect to get his side of the story, but unfortunately we're unable to make contact with him. The rabbi says he has instructed members of his congregation to call police anytime they see that man anywhere around here. Live in Miami Beach, Lauren Pastrana, CBS 4 News tonight.
So there you have it, 2 examples of the word of the Lord coming to pass. And as I said, please go to my website, download my book today. I'm keeping it up to date. You'll see that the newest edition is March the 13th of 2015. There is probably more information pointing to current events and Bible prophecy than you'll find any place on the market, and you can get it today for free. God bless.